Hello, everyone. Welcome back to This Day in History, our nightly look back at a specific day in history, where we take a look back at a specific day in history and examine the events of that day and the historical context in which the events took place and the historical ramifications. We also take a look at some people that were born and some people that died on that day. I'm going to be honest with you, the coronavirus situation in this country is rapidly changing by the hour. And please follow the guidelines of a CDC, uh, your local officials. If they tell you, please don't go out, please don't have a large gathering, listen to them. And wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Sing a song. God. People, come on. Let's use some common sense. We are going to get through this. But it requires us to take this with the seriousness and urgency that it requires. I'm really disappointed in a lot of people that I've seen on the internet over the past couple of days posting, oh, I'm going out, I'm going, all of this other stuff. Don't go out and cause this virus to spread. And don't, if for God's sake you're around someone that experiences symptoms or you experience symptoms yourself, don't go out. Isolate yourself like the recommendations say and get further guidance. Anyway. Yeah, Matt, I've got that off my chest. This day in history, March 15th. Um, in 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated by the Roman Senate. Um, a soothsayer, this is according to Plutarch now, had said that great harm would come to Julius Caesar by the Ides, no later than the Ides of March. On his way to the Roman Senate, Julius Caesar saw the soothsayer and said the Ides of March are here, implying that you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, it looks like the soothsayer was right because just shortly later, Julius Caesar was stabbed to death. This would end the crisis known as the crisis of the Roman Republic. Um, there would be some really wicked people that would come to power in Rome after Julius Caesar. Caligula, who was involved in some of the most unimaginable things you can be associated with. Um, the reason I paused is I didn't know how to put it delicately. And I will just say this, if you can imagine the worst of the worst, Caligula was involved in it. Then later down the line, you would have Nero, and that is a whole another just level of depravity and madness. Um, Births that occurred on this day. This next one is a controversial one. Because I'm gonna I'm going to get on a soapbox here. I'll say historical context before this. But when looking at history, I don't believe you can always apply today's standards to people that lived in the past. But you can certainly look at the actions they took and the consequences that caused them. But the cause and effect, the ramifications part of that I talk about as well. And this person, while some see him as an advocate of the common man and democracy, he's also very, very divisive. And you can find as many people that think wonderful things about him, and you can find as many people that think this person is absolutely wicked. And it's Andrew Jackson. And he was born on this day in 1767, somewhere along the North Carolina-South Carolina border. We're not really sure. His father died shortly before his birth, and his mother was not really sure about her location at the time of Jackson's birth. And to her credit, it was a really remote part of those states, and the land hadn't really been surveyed yet for the area where the border is. So it's always a long running debate. Jackson, as I said, is a controversial person. He abolished the Second Bank of the U.S., yet they put him on the $20 bill. He signed the Indian Removal Act. He was a slave owner. I could go on and on about all of the things that Andrew Jackson did. I will just say this. He is one of the most divisive presidents in American history. Some historians generally rank him favorably. I would not. I would have to say that I do not view Jackson favorably. Just going to be honest, I don't view him favorably. And in part due to the fact that I believe Jackson was I view A. Johnson that was president very favorably. That would be Lyndon Johnson, but not this president. Andrew Jackson, I view him very unfavorably. In part because I believe he was a populist, and I have no use for populism. I think it's deaths that occurred on this day. The rapper Nate Dogg died in 2011 at the age of 41 in Long Beach, California. G-Funk. Regulate. Okay, I'm gonna stop. He was an early collaborator. Him and Snoop Dogg worked on songs together early in their career. I'm not going to try to say the word because I know I'm going to screw up and I need to stop recording. But folks, please, honestly, follow the recommendations of your local health officials, the CDC, and the World Health Organization. I am going to put links to them in this video. I will see you all tomorrow, and stay inside.